Hey, drop your pants. Let's talk about reading ingredient labels. How many of you grab a package off the shelf and read the front? A lot of us do. A lot of marketing companies employ a lot of people to create a front of a package to grab your attention and get you to put that item into your cart. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is to start flipping over any package that you grab at the grocery store. Flip it over. I almost don't care what's on the front. I care what's on the back. And the first thing we're going to look at is not the calories, it's not the macronutrients, it's not the vitamin percentage of your daily intake of what you need, it's the ingredients. So if something says we're going to say sweet potato crackers. What do you think should be the first ingredient in a sweet potato cracker? I'm thinking a sweet potato. But I bet you if you turn that box over, you're not going to see a sweet potato as the first ingredient, or the fourth, maybe not even the sixth. You want the ingredients in the first roughly 3 to 5 ingredients to be things that you recognize, be the ingredient that is supposed to be what is in the box, okay? So if it says it has spinach and it's the 9th ingredient, probably is not really a good option for you. Think 3 to 5, the first 3 to 5 ingredients. You want them to be whatever the product is supposed to be, and you want them to be quality ingredients because the very first ingredient is the majority of what is in that product. So if you flip something over and the first thing that you see is the word sugar or cane syrup or cornstarch or high fructose corn syrup, you're going to put that product down because that is the main ingredient in there. And I guarantee you that's not what you want. All right, then we are going to look at the serving size. A lot of time packages can make calories look better because they are only showing what half a serving is, or a third cup, or some bizarre number. So you want to know, if I eat this whole package, which you're going to do, probably, is that 1 serving, half a serving? And then we are going to look at the macronutrients. This is a big one, and we're going to be talking about this more throughout the whole program, especially when I introduce the option for macrophasing. Macronutrients are your healthy fats or nourishing fats, and your proteins and your complex carbs. So when I say nourishing fat, I want you to get comfortable with that term. Unfortunately, fat is a word that has been given 2 meanings. Fat like on your body, and then fat that you consume. It's 2 different things, but unfortunately the fat that you consume got a bad rep from another use of the word. So let's reframe that word in our mind. I also want you to know that you need fat to burn fat. We don't want to be scared of fat. We'll talk about low fat in just a minute in other terms. Protein, you need protein. Protein are what build our muscles and our body, and you really want a moderate source of protein most days at most meals. And then finally, your complex carbs. You want carbs. We don't have to be scared of carbs. We do want to be scared of like white pasta carbs because there's really no point in eating those. But complex carbs are good. So your macronutrients are on the label and they're listed there. You'll see carbs, you'll see total net carbs, things like that. So you're going to look at that next. We talked about serving size. Again, I'm using my notes here to make sure I don't forget anything. When you're reading the ingredients, I want you to think about the terms that are being used. Number 1, do you recognize them? Did they list sugar as sugar? Because if they didn't, they're trying to hide it from you. Maybe they listed it as apple juice concentrate. Sugar. That's all it means is sugar. I mean, I could give you a whole list of things that mean sugar. I could tell you 22 different words. Maltodextrin, dextrose. I could go on and on. Sugar. Let's see what other terms. If you see something on there that's called made with, like made with whole grain, it's a marketing scam. Marketing tells you that it's supposed to be good if it has whole grain. But if it's only made with whole grain, it's probably not. They just probably duped you into buying that product. Now, if something is whole grain, like oats, they're not going to need to say that on the package because that's a whole grain and it's oats. Done. So if it says made with whole grain, you probably don't want it. And that whole grain that they're talking about is probably the 9th ingredient. Number 2, natural. Natural is not a regulated term. You could put natural on just about anything. Natural food coloring. Nobody wants natural food coloring, right? Number 3, GMOs. You've heard a lot about GMOs and this and that and the other thing. You'll find 9 out of 10 experts are saying GMOs are bad. You'll find one that says they're not. It's up to you whether you decide if that's good or bad. I'm going to steer you towards, until we know more about the effect on our bodies, steer away from them. Number 4, we talked about what I want you to know about sugar is that in the future it's going to be labeled a little bit more clearly on labels. So it's actually going to say, here's the natural sugar found in a food, and this will be found under the carb, the macronutrient carb. So you'll see natural sugar or whatever the food naturally has, and then it's going to say added sugar. So if they added sugar to something to make it sweeter for you to eat it, not the product for you. Moving on, let's see. Organic. We like organic. For the most part, organic is decent. It doesn't mean the product in a whole is decent, but organic is generally better. Because you could have organic treats. It doesn't necessarily mean you should be eating the whole product, right? So organic, you can do the clean 15 or the dirty dozen. What does that mean? If you haven't heard of it, which I was reminded recently that some people still aren't familiar with clean 15, or the dirty dozen, it means that there are 12 vegetables and fruits that the EWG has listed as don't eat these unless they're organic. Now, I'm going to provide that website and that link for you in your Google documents. Let me give you an example. In the Clean 15, right now, you could eat avocados that weren't necessarily organic. So if you're prioritizing your budget, you would not need to eat organic avocados. You would, however, need to wash your avocado before you go cutting into it, right? Because if you're cutting into your avocado, you're taking all the dirty stuff in the avocado and pushing it in. Dirty dozen, one of the dirtiest things out there, strawberries, spinach, green peppers. Do not eat regular versions of these. Go buy organic. I actually buy a lot of frozen strawberries and berries because I get way more for my money. I buy a ton at Costco, frozen. There's a little tip for you. Number 6, if a product says low fat, they're playing on the fact that you're scared of fat because marketing has made you scared. And low fat usually means that they've replaced it with sugar, which actually makes you fat, but they don't have to say that. So when you see low fat, think, no, steer clear. They replaced it with sugar, which is fattening, so you're not doing yourself any favors eating a low fat product most of the time. Flip it over, see what the ingredients are. And we like fat. Remember, we like fat. No sugar added. So earlier I mentioned that labels are going to become more clear when a product adds sugar. That is in addition to how naturally sugary the product is. So if something says no added sugar, that doesn't mean there's no sugar in the product. It just means they didn't add any more garbage sugar. Again, use your smarts. You are so smart. You're so smart. Even though there's no added sugar, it doesn't mean it's a good product. We're going to read the ingredient labels. Read your ingredient labels. All right. So that's a quick and dirty version of reading labels. I want you to post questions on this video so that we can get a commentary going. And then I will check in and answer your questions on ingredient labels. We're going to go grocery shopping this Friday at Meijer, and I think that's about it. You let me know what else you want to know about ingredient labels, and then look for that email for your Google Doc for more resources on ingredient labels. I love you, Fit Fam. Peace out. See you later. Hey, Jessica. Oh, hi. Hi. I'm going to stay on here for 1 minute. If anybody has any questions, I am going to turn over here and pull up. Do you have any questions, Jessica? All I see is you're clapping. I can see that you're on, though. Jessica, talk to me. You're the only one here. What you got, girl? Jessica wants to be in your video. Sure. I have no idea how that would work, but you can be in my video. Oh, there you are. Hi. Jessica, are you coming shopping with us on Friday? Yes? All right. Jessica still wants to join our video. Well, We're going to figure out all these technology challenges if you are having one. Yes. Oh, you typed yes. Great. Yay. Okay. Any questions that you have, Jessica?